My mother one time said, Kakuso, if you go to study abroad in Japan and you dare buy any kind of books, I will make sure that you don't live to see the light of day ever again. And you know what I did? I bought 100 books while I was living in Japan. Yeah. Anyhow, welcome back to the Kakusaku Tagawa channel. The channel, which last video uploaded to this channel, got 300 views, and I feel like a celebrity. What is this? Yeah, I'm famous now. So I decided to do another video to capitalize on my popularity. To give a quick rundown of what I'm doing. I'm moving houses. So with the pain of moving comes the pain of packing up all of this stuff and all of this stuff. And over there's even more books. So yeah, I will be talking about all the books that I own as I take them away from the shelves and put them on the bed of my brother and then put them on the box, and I have more boxes, and you all are gonna see how dirty my room is. So yeah, let's get started. I'm really excited about moving to my new place because it's not gonna have a hole in the ceiling, and I won't have to worry about humidity because my current place is horrendously humid. I think I should start with this. Over here I have the books that I'm currently reading. So it's Sayonara Setsubo Sensei Volume 2, Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan, and Bukkyo Hakken, which is a book I got in the Nara Museum when I was there. This goes there. Next up, I'm gonna go with this. This is Kasei Kiyoshi's 大量子と探偵小説 Mass Death and Detective Novels by Kasei Kiyoshi. It's a series of essays about his theory of mass death and detective novels. I have not read it yet. Next up, it's this book by Kitada Akahiro. Wait, I cannot read this. Akihiro. This is 笑う日本のnationalism, which is like scorning Japanese nationalism. I have no idea how to translate that title. Next up is Seiryo Ryusui's the Kamitante Yes Christo no Bokken, The Adventures of God Detective Jesus Christ by Seiryo Ryusui. This one is 自伝的革命論68年とマルクス主義の臨界? Yeah, I think that's how it's read. It's like an autobiographical series of essays by Kasei Kiyoshi, which would be translated to an autobiographical revolutionary theory, 1968, and the breaking point of Marxism, I guess. I have not read it. My books are falling apart. This one is Terror to Gojira by Kasei Kiyoshi. It's Godzilla and Terror. And this one is the second volume of Kyogoku Natsuhiko's Lugaru. I have no idea how it's pronounced in English. Lupsgars? I have no idea. Wolfgars. I'm gonna get out of the way these things that are falling. This one is one of the books I used to study for the N1, which is Nihongo no Mori's JLPT N1 Kono Isatsu de Gokaku Suru. It literally translates to, with this one volume you'll pass the N1. This one is another book I use for grammar. This is Nihongo Somatome grammar for the N1. This is a very good grammar book. This one is Nihongo Logical Training, which is like a book about practicing logical training in Japanese, like how to say words you want to say, because I'm really bad at speaking and expressing myself in Japanese. This one is Shin Nihongo 500 mon en ichi, 500 questions of like N1 level. It has questions of like kanji, vocabulary, and grammar. 500 of them. I also use this one to study for the M1. Let me get this out of the way. Oh my god, you're all gonna see how dirty my room is. I should do cut or edit this video, but I'm too lazy to do that, so it's just gonna be one take. This one is a book many people don't even know exists. This is the author is D. This adaptation of Donnie Darko, a movie I will never see and a book I will never read. But it's a super cool book. I have no idea. Many people don't even know this exists. D is like a novelist, artist who did this novel adaptation of Donnie Darko, and it has so many illustrations, and it's so fucking cool, like genuinely. But yeah, I will never read it because I have not watched the movie, and I really do not want to watch the movie. Next up, it's 1984. This is in English, so 1Q84 by Murakami Haruki. One of the absolute worst books I have read. I hate Murakami so much. Moving on, this is Raymond Carver's All of Us in Spanish, so it says Todos Nosotros. This is like Raymond Carver's entire poem collections, like it's a compilation of every poem he wrote. And yeah, I really like Raymond Carver. This is a really nice bilingual edition, so it has all the poems in Spanish and in their original English. Next up, it's this one, Bye Bye Angel, the LaRouche family murder case by Kasakiyoshi. I talked about this one in my last video. It's really good. Next up, this is also Kasakiyoshi, actually from the same series as Bye Bye Angel. This is, I do not know how to speak French. It's La Période du Purgatoire. I don't know how to speak French. I don't know if that was good pronunciation or if I was just racist. In Japanese, it's Rengoku no Toki. This one is the latest book of the Yabuki Kakeru series. I don't know how many volumes there are, but I bought this one when I was in Japan. It's a really cool looking book. It's also massive. And yeah, it's the latest book of the same series as Bye Bye Angel. This one is a really rare book which got reprints, so I got the reprints edition. This is Datenshi Gomonke by what was his name? I don't know how to read this. Katsunori Atsukabe, not Katsunori. Let me check the copyright page to see how his name is read. It's where is the name of the author? It doesn't say. Yeah, there. It's Asukabe Katsunori. Yeah, I was right. This title would translate to a fallen angel's torture sentence. It sounds really fucking cool. I have not read it, but this book was super difficult to get for many years. Recently, it got a reprint, so I got that, and I think it's even getting bunkos now. So yeah, the rarity of this book is non-existent now. This is the Japanese edition of Zelda no Densetsu Majora no Kamen. Zelda's Majora's Mask for Nintendo 64. I got this while I was living in Japan. These are all really boring books. This is Teorías de Relaciones Internacionales en el siglo XXI. Interpretaciones críticas desde México. Theory of International Relations on the 21st Century, critic interpretations from Mexico. If people don't know, I study international relations, so I read about international relations. These are magazines. This is reflective. I hope I did not show up. This is the Switch magazine. Which number is it? It's from 2003, I think. January 2003. I got this because it has a very cool segment by about Mayo Otaro, where Mayo Otaro made a lot of illustrations about books he wants to publish in the future. So this was 2003, and he talked about books that still have not come out. This was 2003, and he had already planned Shit, My Brain is Dead. Oh, here is Smoke Solar Sacrifices, The Childish Darkness, Everything is Falling Apart, I'm going insane. And what I suppose would be these other the two remaining volumes of the Natsukawa Saga, which still haven't come out. This one is The Great Ichiro Natsukawa and A Cocoa Butter Kind of Love. I want these books to come out so badly. And it's really interesting because, for example, Shit My Brain is Dead came out in 2010. And these illustrations were made in 2003. Like, how far ahead is Maijo thinking about his books? Please, Maijo, release more Natsukawa Saga. I love Natsukawa Saga. This is another magazine that I got because of Maijo. This has a Maijo Otaro short story called Tsukumo Yukumatsu, which is about Tsukumo Yuku and Otsuichi, and I don't know, and it's really cool. It's like a short story about Tsukumo Yuku, and I love Tsukumo Yuku. This is another magazine that I got because it has a Maijo Otaro story. It's got Neck the 8th. I still haven't read this one. This is the first volume of One Piece in Japanese. This is Mina no Nihongo, the worst Japanese textbook I have ever used. It's horrendous. I do not recommend it to anyone. Next up, this is the clear file full of personal data. I hope it doesn't show up. And this is Der Monde. It's a art book of Evangelion. It's so full of papers. What the fuck did I do? I'm gonna pause the video. Alright, yeah, I just saw what happened. The book was full of random papers because the clear file papers fell inside the book, because when I pushed the book it was inside the clear file. It doesn't matter, it's a really cool art book of Evangelion. So it opens this way. Super fucking cool. Next up, this is the OV of a book I lent to a friend 5 years ago, and that friend still hasn't read the book and still hasn't given it back to me. Fuck, and the worst thing is that it's one of my favorite Latin American books ever. It's called El Olvido que Seremos. Forgotten Will Be, I think would be translated. It's one of the best books I read. I lent it to a friend. She never gave it back, and yeah, I only have the OV. This is also one of the worst things I have read. This is the entire collection of Sherlock Holmes, written by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. This is everything Conan Doyle wrote of Sherlock Holmes. And Sherlock Holmes is quite horrible. I do not like it, but I read everything nonetheless. Fuck, I hate Sherlock Holmes. This is more random nerd books. I don't care. Cross-national research methods, blah, blah, blah. Learning and memory. Internationalization and domestic politics, but Robert Keohane. Fuck that guy. Economics book. This is Les Miserables. This is a really good book. Les Miserables. How do you pronounce Miserables in English? Miserables? By Victor Hugo Victor. It's a really good book. I love it. This is also a really nice book. It's called La Contracultura en México, The Contraculture in Mexico by José Agustín. It's a really cool non-fiction book about the contraculture in Mexico. This is another Latin American literature thing. This is Rayuela by Julio Cortázar, one of my favorite books. No, it's like one of the best things I've read in Spanish. As you may notice, I do not read a lot in Spanish. This book is called Hopscotch in English. I really recommend it. Next up, I have this book. I have no idea. Like, one time when I was leaving my Japanese school here in Mexico, they were gifting books because one of the teachers who lived here was moving back to Japan and didn't want to carry all their books. So I grabbed these two because I have no idea. This one is Kamubaku, but I have no idea how to read that name. And this is Yoshiki de Kiruto Konna Son Osuru. I have no idea how that is translated, and I don't know what the book is about. It seems like finance, maybe. This one is really good by Fernanda Melchor. It's called Aquinos Miami. It's a really cool fiction book by a Mexican author. I love this book. I really recommend it. It's Here is not Miami. This isn't Miami in English. I don't know how to translate it. This is nerd shit. This is Thus spoke Zarathustra, así habló Zarathustra, de Friedrich Nietzsche. I have never known how to pronounce his last name. Nietzsche? Nietzsche. Yeah, Nietzsche. This is a really funny thing. I have the Constitution of the United States. Just chilling in here. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm gonna make a cut and move all of these and sort things out before continuing. Alright, clean all this mess and also that mess. I'm gonna put all of that in boxes. Yeah, continuing. Here I have. Wait, I think this may dox me. Yeah, it may dox me. It's like a little pamphlet thing about Japanese art, but like the thing is that it was only given away on an exhibition, and that exhibition, I think it was the only state in Mexico where that exhibition was like my city. So yeah, I'm not saying anything about it. This is Rodo Ermeroi Nise no Jikenbo, the Incident Notebook of Lord and Meloy II by Mita Makoto. I have no idea how to read that name. I picked this up when I was in Japan. I have still not read it, but it looks really cool and I really want to check it out. Here I have Kokoro by Natsume Soseki. I have not read it. Here I have Taijo no To by Morimi. What was Tomihiko? I almost forgot his name. The Tower of the Sun by Morimi Tomihiko. I still haven't read this. Here I have Mukashi Boku ga Shinda Ie, The House I Died In by Keigo Higashino. I read this. I did not like it much. The Decagon House Murders by Yukito Yatsuji, Yukakuka no Satsujin. Natsu to Hanabi to Watashi no Shittai by Otsuichi. This is Summer Fireworks and My Corpse. I talked about it in my last video. I also talked about this one in my last video. Sekai de Ichiban Tsukitotta Monogatari by Sugi Hikaru. This is the clearest story in the world. This is something that I still have to read, but I'm really excited too. This is Nihon Tantei Shosetsu Senshu 4 Yume no Kyusaku Shun. This is a collection of Japanese detective novels. This is the 4th installment, which is about Yume no Kyusaku. And I got this book because it has the entirety of Dogra Magra, which is one of the big Japanese mysteries. I have not read it yet, but I would really want to. Here I have 5 volumes of Fate Zero by Gen Urobuchi. I still have not read any of these, and I don't know if I will because I'm not really interested in Fate Zero. This one is Kyoto Arashiyama Sakura Mojo Satsujin Jiken. The Sakura patterned murders in Kyoto Arashiyama. Oh, here it has a translation. What does it say? The cherry flower murder case in Arashiyama of Kyoto by, I cannot see it. Kashiwai Hisashi, which I got in a used bookstore in Japan. It still has the tag there. It was 80 yen. Fuck, that's really cheap. Yeah, and it's like a tourism guide, but with like murder mystery, and it looks really cool. And I'm really interested in it because that's like the zone of Kyoto where I used to live. So yeah. Next up I have, fuck, this is all gonna fall down. Let me move this out of the way for the time being. Here I have 10 volumes of Sayonara Setsuo Sensei, Goodbye Teacher Despair by Kumeta Koji. I already showed the first volume. This is second volume, third volume, fourth volume, fifth, sixth, seventh. This is such a mess. Eighth, 9 and 10th. In total, the series is 30 volumes, but I just have 10. I will get the rest one day. Down here, I have 2 volumes of the... Is this a Kaseman or a Shinsoban? It's like a new edition of Discommunication. I don't know how to read the name of the author, I'm sorry. And yeah, I'm really interested in this because it has some really cool art style. Yeah, that looks fucking rad. Let me look at the copyright page to see if it has the name of the author. Does it have a copyright page? It should. This art is so cute. Oh, here it is. The name of the author is Here, Ueshiba Richi Ueshiba. This is so cool. I think this edition in total is like 8 volumes. I've just got 2. I really want to get the rest. I'm gonna clean this and come back in a second. Alright, continuing. This is art books that were falling over here. This is Gorilla Saiban no Hi by Suzuko Otori, Gorilla's Trial Day. It's a really good book. Volume 2 of Thus Spoke Kishibe Rohan. Volume 1 of Ruri Dragon by Shindo what was his name? Masaoki Shindo. It's a really good book, really good manga. I love Ruri Dragon. It's one of the best things I ever read. I love it so much. This is another short story collection that it's very NFS, not safe for work. I picked it up at a book off because I was like, it's really cheap. It was really cheap and it had a cool cover. And then I got to my apartment and I was like, what the fuck is this? It's so not safe for work. It's Ashita made denwa suru yo. Call Me Tomorrow by, what's the name of? Yamamoto Naoki. It's a short story collection. The art is really nice, but it's not safe for work. I still have not read it, but yeah, in case I get cancelled for reading that. This is Gendai Mystery to wa Nanika. I have no idea how to translate the title. It would be like, what is contemporary mystery, I guess, by Genkai Ken, which is a conglomerate of like essayists and literary critics talking about mystery. One of these ones is, I recognize this, I forgot his name. He did the commentary on the new edition of Cosmic, follows me on Twitter too. This is Taki Anata. Yeah, that's Taki Anata. He also follows me on Twitter. Sakashima Ryu, which mentioned me on his commentary on the new edition of Joker. And who else do I recognize from here? No one else. I got this book at an event they made in Kyoto. So I met a lot of these people in person, including Sakashima and Takianata. Yeah, it was really cool. That's where I met Sakashima Ryu. This is Mugen no Tsuki by Suzuko Otori. I still have not read it. This is Suzuko Otori's second book, The Moon of Infinity. I've heard it's really cool, but I still have to read it. I have so much unread stuff. I love books. This up here is, I'm not gonna show because it's my little brother's. He was really into K-pop, so that is like an album of a K-pop band group, but it has like a picture collection of them. What is it called? I don't know. It says flower, but it's Korean. Anyhow, continuing with the hardcovers, this is Warau Iemon by Kyokoku Natsuhiko. This is the Laughing Iemon by Kyokoku Natsuhiko. This is one of the prettiest book editions I own. The paper quality is insane. I'm trying to not say bad words. The paper quality is amazing. I cannot wait to read this book, but knowing Kyogoku, it's gonna be a hard read because his Japanese is very difficult to read. But yeah, the cover is fucking cool. Next up, Metante no Ai Tango by Seirin Rusi, the English words of a great detective. This is another Kyogoku. This is Shineba Inoni. Want you just die? I don't know what it would be translated to, like, could you please die? Would you just die? You should just die. I have no idea. By Kyogo Natsuhiko. I still haven't read it. This is Shiki by Ono Fujimi. Volume 1, no, this is Volume 2 and Volume 1. Massive books, I still have not read them, but I'm really excited to read them because I've heard they're really amazing. Next up, Iko Kiri no Shiro by Miyabe Miyuki. This is a novelization book thing of Iko, the video game. I have not read it because I have not played Iko. This is Mori Hiroshi's Kishima Sensei no Shizuka na Sekai, The Silent World of Dr. Kishima. I also have not read it. This is Teskatori Poka by Kiwamu Sato, or how we would say it in Spanish, Tezcatlipoca. It's I have not read it, but it's like about Mexico things, and Tezcatlipoca, which is like a thing of class of like Aztec or like some traditional Mexican culture mythology. It's really cool. I want to read it. This is Domino in Shanghai by Ondariku. I got this book because the cover is really cool. It looks so cool. I cannot wait to read that. Another really bad book. This is Murakami Haruki's Michito Sono Futashika no Kage. The City and its Uncertain Walls. This is not good. Manga. This is a very cool edition of... How is this read? It's the Under Execution, Under Jailbreak manga by Hirohiko Araki, but I don't know how it's called. It's Shikejikochu Shizujiku Shinkochu. I'm sure I read it really wrongly. I don't know how it's read. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. I don't know how it's read. Like Dajiku? I know this is Shike. Shuko? Chu? I know this is Shinkochu. Yeah, this is like execution, jailbreak, whatever. These are the first 2 volumes of a really cool edition of Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles by Clamp. They're such nice editions. And I got them at a book off for like 100 yen. I should have gotten the entire series. They're hardcovers. I got these 2 first volumes, and then I was like, should I get the rest? They had the entire series, and then I went back to the book off, and they had sold off, and I just got the first 2 volumes. This is an art book thing of Tsukihime Dokuhon. Yeah. I don't know what Dokuhon means. It's like reading book, Tsukihime reading book. It has like art and interviews and whatnot, and it's super cool because I love Tsukihime. This is a 50 peso note that was in the book for some reason. And this is a Fate art book thing. Fucking massive. It only has the first volume, art material, and I don't have the rest of the volumes. It's a really cool art book and box, and it's supposed to hold like all the volumes, but I just have volume 1. Anyhow, I'm gonna clean this up and talk about the manga on the back. Alright, now, so all of this is Mexican manga. It's everything in Spanish from the publisher Panini Manga. This is One Piece. I have a few volumes. Next up, it's Attack on Titan. I also have a few volumes, random volumes. Seraph of the End. I only got 2 volumes because I hated them. Yeah, it's cool art. I did not like the story of the first few volumes. A few volumes of Bleach by Tite Kubo. I love her. She's a really cool character, Siphon. This is the first volume of Pokemon Gold and Silver. Tokyo Gold Red. I have 9 volumes. I don't have the original Tokyo Gold, so this is quite funny. Yeah, I never finished this series. Really cool art. this is insane. I've been recording for 30 minutes and I'm already losing my voice. Yeah. Really cool covers. Next up, I have 17 volumes of Soul Eater by Atsushi Okudo. I'm not gonna show all the covers. You already know where am I. Soul Eater is super cool. I want to finish reading it one day. I don't have the entire collection. So yeah, I have 18 volumes of that. Then I have 19 volumes of Noragami by Adachi Toka. I'm just gonna move those over here. I'm not gonna show the cover. The covers are really cool though. I love Noragami. I have 19 volumes of this. Or whatever. Next up I have 12 volumes of Hunter x Hunter. I would love to have more, but it's been like 5 years since I last bought a manga in Spanish. I kinda don't buy mangas in Spanish because I rather spend that money on buying Japanese mystery novels. I have 12 volumes of To Love Ru, and I have 14 volumes of Food Wars. I'm gonna move this out of the way, and those were all the books I have in this section. I still have more over there. I'm not gonna talk about those because they're boring non-Japanese books. So yeah, this is like everything I got out of there. I'm probably gonna record tomorrow when I have a bigger box, but I'm also gonna talk about everything in here. So yeah, for me it's gonna be a few days. For you, it's gonna be right now. All right. So one of the boxes is very crudely packed already. I still have a lot of books here and over there, and yeah, I'm gonna go get some more boxes. I'm really tired. Alright, so all the books that I had in there are all packed. In total, there are 3 massive boxes. And yeah, right now, I'm not gonna pack all of these, but I'm gonna take out like the most important ones to take them with me in my suitcase because they are the ones that I don't want to get damaged of any kind during the move. So most probably I'm gonna move this out of the way. I love you, Miku. I'm gonna start with these ones, The Billman Hypothesis by Nishio Isin. This is Nishio Isin's 100th novel, and it's one of those 2 copies that I have is signed. What else do I consider to take with me? Down here, these 2 Kyogoku Natsuhiko ones. This is Morio no Hako. This is one really nice and difficult to get edition. The same for The Summer of Ubume no Natsu by Kyogoku Natsuhiko 2. After that, this one, Osoreire Kanoyo no Sekiguro, her grenade is a bomb grenade by Mayo Otaro. This one is also signed. This one of my most precious this is one of my most precious possessions. What else? The Cosmic Books, of course. Well, Cosmic Books, the new JDC editions, Cosmic and Joker by Seirion Rusui. That, and then most likely Disco Wednesday. This one's Disco Tante Suiyo y Mayo Otaro or Disco Detective Wednesday. And then, do I have anything else? Oh, I have these 2. These ones I'm definitely taking with me. I cannot really show them because they are signed books by Sudo Kotori. This is the serialized edition of Gorilla's Trial Day, Gorilla Saiba no Hi. This is the Mephisto issue in which his short story, If You're Gonna Kill Me, Do It After the Song got serialized. And before like Gorilla's Trial Day even came out, Kotori sends me these 2 Mephisto issues signed, but with like my name. So they say they are signed like Sudo Kotori for Kaku Sakutagawa. But that is not my real name, so I cannot really show them because they are by my real name. This is really fucking cool. Like Kotori himself told me like these are the first two books that I ever signed. Like, imagine being told that by a Mephisto winner author. Like, what the fuck? He was just like, yeah, sure, Kaku. Like, you were the first person I ever signed anything for. These ones are by Atsukaze Katsunori. I got them when I bought the reprint of Fallen Angels Torture Sentence. And this one is Majo Ko. I have no idea how to read it. I don't know how it's pronounced. And this is Hariona, the needle woman. As far as I know, these two thingies that I haven't read may be worth a lot of money. They're very difficult to get. I don't know how many copies they got, but they are really rare to get. And maybe one day will get me a house or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about this at the moment. And these are gonna be the last things that I show until the next cut. Cosmic by Seryun Rusui. Joker by Seryun Rusui. Yukuboksu by Seryun Rusui. Carnival Eve by Seryun Rusui. Carnival by Seryun Rusui. And Carnival Day by Seryun Rusui. And this is these ones, and this is what I'm gonna take with me on my suitcase because they are like my most precious books. Yeah, that's about it. Until the next cut. Wow. Well, so next up, I'm gonna continue with this row. I think my camera is dirty. Give me a second. It's this camera. Yeah, now you should be cleaner. Yeah. All right. Next up, it's Seryun Rusui no Shosetsu Sakuho. It's like a non-fiction book by Seryun Rusui about writing books. And yeah, I really want to read this, but I still haven't had the chance. Next up, more Seryun Rusui. This is Himishitsu Bon, Secret Locked Room book. Bon. I have no idea what it may mean, but yeah, it's also by Seryun Rusui. It's the book he wrote for the what was it, 25th anniversary? It was for the 20th anniversary of Kodansha novels, where many authors did wrote novels based around locked rooms. This was Seryun Rusui's. I'm gonna talk about Mayo's, and Nishuishin also participated. Next up, it's Himitsuya Shiro by Seryun Rusui. Next up, it's Himitsuya Aka, Himitsuya Red. Nihon Kokumin Senin Sanka Terebi Shinkikaku. It's I think the third volume in the Kimura Shoichi series, continuation to this one, which is L. I talked about this one in my last video by Seryun Rusui, both of these. I don't know how to translate this. It would be like, the translation would be like You, the Japanese television program in which all of Japan participates. I have no idea. I'm sure that's not the correct translation. Oh, this one is not a book, but it's the CD recording of a play written by Mayo Otaro called Butai or Neck the Stage. It's a really fun stage play. I love it. And yeah, I got the DVD from Japan. I know Mayo has done like other plays and stuff and movies, I think, but this is the only one I own. Next up, it's this one. This is I have no idea how to translate it, but it's pretty much memorial book for Uyama Hideo, which was very important. He was a very important editor for Kodansha, and he worked with a ton of authors, including Ayatsuji, Otsuichi, Kasei Kiyoshi, and I think he was the mentor of Ota Katsushi. And yeah, this book was organized by Ota, and all these names are the names of the authors that participated. I haven't read it, but I think it's like all these authors talking about him because he passed away. It's a really nice edition. Next up, this one is Kyoko Natsuhiko. This is the first volume of Ryugaru. I have no idea how it's translated. Loops Garus, I still have no idea how it's pronounced, but it's also a really cool edition. It looks really cool under the dust jacket. It goes really hard. Next up, it's this one by Mayotaro. This is Kemono no Ki, or the Tree of the Beast. It's the third volume in the Shinitomo no... What was the name? Shinitomo Naruo series. Third volume. This one is the one Mayo wrote for the 20th anniversary of Kodansha novels, Sekai wa Mishitsu de Dekiteiru, which is the world is made out of locked rooms. This is a really cool book. Next up, one of my favorite books ever, Tsukumoyuku by Mayo Otaro. It's a tribute he wrote based on the JDC series by Serin Rusui. One of the absolute best books I have ever read. And talking about best books that I ever read, The Childish Darkness by Mayo Otaro is the single best book I have ever read, hands down. It's my favorite book ever. I have 2 copies of this one because one is a first printing and another one is a later printing. The same with Mayo's debut work, which is Kemurika Tsuchika Kuimono, or Smoke, Soil, or Sacrifices. One is a first printing, one is a later printing. I actually have read both printings, and I have a document detailing like all the changes made between editions. There are not that much, but the changes made are quite interesting, like entire paragraphs were rewritten between printings. And yeah, a very important part of the book was rewritten to be more vague in the new printings. It's cool to see stuff like that. I should do the same with The Childish Darkness, but The Childish Darkness is a really long book, so I still haven't done that with that. This is Yamanaka no Shimitomo Naruo, or Shimitomo Naruo of the Mountains. This is the first volume of the Shimitomo Naruo series. The third volume in this series is Kemono no Ki, which I just showed. Next up, it's Picon. This is a manga adaptation of a Mayo Otaro short story from this book, Kumano Basho, by the mangaka Kei Aoyama. It's a really difficult to get manga, like getting a copy of this is really difficult. It's they didn't get many reprints, and sadly, the mangaka passed away not many years after drawing this. It's just upsetting. It's a really cool adaptation. Next up, Jason Forthrum, Mayo Otaro's first poem collection. I talked about this one in my last video. Next up, it's Speed Boy. This one is the second volume in the Shimitomo Naruo series. It's a really short but very cool book. Next up, it's the hardcover edition of Yamanaka no Shimitomo Naruo. It's the hardcover version of this book. This is the tankobon, and this is the hardcover. It's really pretty. It's a really nice edition. I still have to read it. Next up, one of the best things ever written, George Joestar by Mayo Otaro. This book is amazing. It's actually the third part in a trilogy. The first book in this trilogy is Tsukumoyuku. The second volume in the trilogy is Disco Wednesday, and the third one is George Joestar. Many people don't actually know that, because these books have never been presented as a trilogy or part of a series, but they have a lot of stuff in common, and characters from these books show up in the other books, so it's really cool to read it in that order. So like Tsukumoyuku, and then George Joestar, and then Tsukumoyuku, Disco Wednesday, and then George Joestar. This one is the New York Trilogy by Paul Auster. Yeah, this is in Japanese, but it's one of my favorite Western mystery things. Like this one has three short stories. It's The City of Glass, Ghost, and The Locked Room. The City of Glass and The Locked Room are amazing. Ghost is also really good, but like it didn't have the impact that the other two had on me. I super recommend it. The Locked Room in particular is insane. This is Mayo Otaro's short story collection Minagenki, which English names is Kukos, yeah, and the Invisible Devil. Minagenki, I have no idea how to translate that. It means like everyone is fine. Like if it had a question mark instead of a dot period, it would be like, is everyone fine? But it's not. It's like an affirmation, so everyone is fine. I guess that would be the translation. It's a really nice edition, which I still haven't read, but it's so nice. It's the art is really cool. Next up, more Mayotaro, Suki Daisuki Sho Eshiteiru, or Love, 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 I Love You. Love, 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 Love You, I Love You, yeah. It's one of my, it's I think the best book I read last year. I talked about it in my last video. Bro, I sound so tired. I am really tired of packing up. This one is, I think this was Mayotaro's first short story collection. Is Kumanobasho, or Place of the Bear. It has, I think, if I remember correctly, it has 3 stories. Let me check. One of those stories is Picon, which is the one that got adapted into that manga by Aoyama Kei. It has, yeah, this is the table of contents. It has Kumanobasho, Place of the Bear, Bato Otoko, which is Batman, and Picon. It's a really nice short story collection. Picon is definitely the best one. Batman is also good, and Place of the Bear, I don't remember much of it. It was kinda boring. I have another copy. These ones I got because I remember I bought some used books. And the one book that I wanted to get came with this one, even though I already own the copy, so I just have 2 copies because of that. Next up, Disco Tante Soyobi, which didn't fit in the box. I wanted to pack it yesterday, so I just left it here. This is volume 1 and volume 2. It's an amazing book. Well, amazing series, I guess. It's 2 books. I super recommend it. It's really good, even though it may not be for everyone. Next up, it's this one by Mayotaro. It's The Beach Magnet. What a fucking name. I have not read it. The art is really cute. It's so cute and nice. But I've heard it's like a really touching love story. Like, yeah, the title is just really weird. I really want to read this. Next up, it's the Japanese edition of Ashura Girl by Mayotaro. This won the 16th Mishima Yukio Prize. And yeah, it's a really a really good book. Not Mayo's best, but it's also not that bad. And next up, it's the English edition of Ashura Girl, which I think it's the only official released Mayotaro book in English. And yeah, I do not like this translation. It was I have read both of these, and the translation was very heavily censored. Like there are entire pages missing from the book, and yeah, it's not good. It also has some really weird translation errors. Like yeah, it's not a good edition. It's so heavily censored. There's a lot of stuff missing in the translation that was in the original. Right, that was one of these. I still have these, and that. Yeah, look at my brother's shoes. I did not clean absolutely to record this video. Next up, it's gonna be all the Nishio Isin books. Like every single thing in here is written by Nishio Isin. So I'm gonna start with the top and then Move on to the bottom. I'm gonna start with these two. This is Kaito Franuru no Junkai, the patrol of Phantom Thief Flaneur. Initiation's latest series, which just finished with Volume 3. It's really bad. I did not like Volume 1. Volume 2 is even worse. Volume 2 is Kaijin Desumachi no Taiten, which would translate to the Phantom Death March's Retreat. This is, I think, is it the worst thing Nishuisin has written? I don't know if it's the worst thing he's written, but it definitely is the laziest. I will talk about this one in my video of what did I read this year, which will probably come out this December. Alright, now moving on to all of this. These are the English editions of the Saragoto series. Third volume, Suspension, Kobitsuri High School. Second volume, Strangulation, Kubishime Romanticist. And first volume, The Competition, Kubikiri Cycle. I love Saragoto. It's like the reason I started learning Japanese. It's such a good series. And here is Saragoto in the Japanese edition. I will not put them in these ones in the same boxes as others because I will put them in the limited edition box set and I will carry that separately. This is the first volume, Kubikiri Saikoru, Aoiro Saban to Saragoto Tsukai. Second volume, Kubishime Romancisto, Ningen Shikaku Serosaki Hitoshiki. Third volume, which is the one in which Nishuisin participated in the 20th anniversary event of Kodansha novels, in which the authors wrote a novel about locked rooms in under, I think it was 250 pages. And it's this one, Kubitsuri High School, Saragoto Tsukai no Deshi. This is the fourth volume, which it hasn't come out in English. Wait, let me fix this one. Yeah, this is Psychological Gaisuke Utsugu. I always forgot his name. Utsurugi Gaisuke no Saragoto Koroshi. Psychological Utsuguri Gaisuke's Nonsense Killer or Nonsense Killing. I don't know. Psychological 2, Sour Little Song, which I think the Japanese is Hikaremono no Kouta, which is a wordplay. Kouta is like little song, but Kouta is also what her name is. It's a cool little wordplay, but yeah, they use different kanji, I think. Yeah, that's cool. This one of the best things Nishuisin has written. I also really like Kubishime Romanticist. This one is Hitokui Magical Satsuriku Gijutsu no Nyonomiya Kyodai. Cannibal Magical, the Massacre Magic Nyonomiya brothers, sisters, siblings. This one is really cool. It has double cover, like under the cover it has like a mirrored one with Izumo. It's really cool. It's the only book in the series which does this. And then the end of, well, the last 3 volumes of Saragoto, which are Nekosogi Radical. This is Uprooted Radical, The 13 Stairs, Yusan Kaidan. Second volume, Nekosogi Radical, what was the translation of Overkill Red versus the Orange Seed. I forgot which, what was the meaning of this word right here. Aki. I have no idea. It's like, yeah, what I said. It's like Jun versus Magokoro. And this is the last volume of Saragoto. Nekosogi Radical, Aoiro Saban to Saragoto Tsukai. Uprooted Radical, the Blue Savant, and the Nonsense User. And this is the lazy, horrible book. I think this may be actually the worst thing Nishuisin has written, the 10th volume of Saragoto, which came 10 years after this, 20 years after this one was written, and it's really bad. This one is Kidnap Kidding, the Nonsense Users and Blue Savant's daughter. I talked about this one in more detail in my previous video. Next up, something that many people may not even know that exists, or many have not even read. It's Saregoto Dictionary, Saregoto series, 情報辞典, the Saregoto Dictionary, which is a dictionary about terminology used in the Saregoto series. It's like 300 volumes, and it has like a cute little manga by Take the Illustrator at the end. And yeah, I have read all of these. It's literally a dictionary. It's really cool. This dictionary is more fun to read than Volume 10. Next up, it's the Ningen series. This is Serosaki Soshiki no Ningen Shiken, or the human test, human exam of Serosaki Soshikis. I'm gonna get this out of the way. I really do not like the Ningen series. I found it really boring. Like these two have manga adaptations, and I think the manga is more fun than the novels, because my problem with the novels is that it's an action series. The action is really badly written. It's very boring to read. Anyhow, this is Serosaki Kishishiki no Ningen Knock, or Serosaki Kishishiki's Human Knock. The manga of this one is amazing. I do not own it, but I recommend it. Next up, it's Serosaki Magashiki no Ningen Ningen, or Serosaki Magashiki's Human Human. Next up, it's Serosaki Hitoshiki no Ningen Kanke, Muto Yori Tono Kanke. Serosaki Hitoshiki's Human Relations with Muto Iori. Next up, Serosaki Hitoshiki no Ningen Kanke ni Onomije Isumoto no Kanke. Serosaki Hitoshiki's Human Relations with Nyonomije Isumo. The end and the start of this book is amazing. The middle is really boring, but it's really cool. Next up, it's Serosaki Hitoshiki no Ningen Kanke, Serosaki Soshiki to no Kanke, human relations of Serosaki Hitoshiki, relations with Serosaki Soshiki. Wait, I put them backwards. And the last volume of the Ningen series, and the smallest one. This one is Hitoshiki Serosaki Hitoshiki to no. I cannot speak. Serosaki Hitoshiki no Ningen Kanke, Saregoto Tsukai to no Kanke, human relations of Serosaki Hitoshiki, relations with the nonsense user. This is horrendous. It's a really bad book. I do not like it at all. It's really bad. Like it has a really cool character which didn't show in the main series, which is Nanami. I think that's her name, and she's really cool. But overall, this book is horrendous. I do not like it. I do not recommend it. It's literally a clickbait title. If you don't want to get spoiled, click 2 times to skip 5 or 10 seconds the video. The nonsense user doesn't even show up. It's so bad. It's horrible. Next up is the Nishuisin's Saikyo series, or the Strongest series, which is also a spin-off of Saregoto. This is Saregoto. Ningen series is a spin-off, and then Saikyo is also a spin-off focused on Aikawa Jun. I only have 2 volumes, but I think the series in total is 4 or 5 volumes. This one is Jinrui Saikyo no Hatsukoi, or the first love of humanity's strongest. The second volume is Jinrui Saikyo no Jun Ai, or the pure love of humanity's strongest. The next one is this one, which is called Ripogura, or Lipogura, which is a short story collection written by Nishoisin. But like, the thing is that I think there are just 4 stories in total, and each story is like 20 pages. But the thing here is that it's lipogram, which is like a type of writing in which you are not allowed to use certain letters or certain sounds. So it's like the same 4 stories, but each story is written 4 times. Like the same story is written four times, but each time it gets like even more and more lipogram restrictions. So like, yeah, it's a really cool way to, well, it's a really cool story. For example, in this story, in this one in particular, he's not allowed to use any of these sounds. And yeah, it gets more difficult each time, and it's really interesting. Like, I would recommend it, but like only if you read like the first of each story and don't bother with the rest, because it's really boring to read the four same stories four times. And yeah, and it also has like illustrations by a lot of artists. This one is by Ito Junji. It's really cool. Yeah, also I think Kumeta Koji, yeah, participated in this, and Hiro Mishima, the one from Fairy Tail, and yeah, these are all the illustrators who participated. It's quite cool. Next up, it's this one. This one is called Ningyo ga Ningyo, or Ningyo is Ningyo. One of Nishio's best, in my opinion. It's like a really surrealist story novel. It's really cool. I think I talked about this one in one of my videos. Most probably. Next up, it's this one. It's called Shoujo Fujibun, which would be like, I think it's translated as Broken Girl. It's a really interesting novel. I quite like it. It isn't translated, but it got a manga adaptation in 3 volumes, and that was released in English. Next up, it's Nishio Isekai series, Kimi to Boku no Kowareta Sekai, or Broken World, one of the best things Nishio has ever written. Second volume, Bukimi de Soboku no Kakowareta Sekai, or an early and artless enclosed world. Next up, third volume, Kimi to Boku ga Kowashita Sekai, the world we broke. It's also quite cool. And this one is really bad. I talked about it in my last video, Bukimi de Soboku no Kakowareta Kimi to Boku no Kowareta Sekai, which is our eerie and artless enclosed broken world. Next up, it's the special editions of the special Japanese editions of the Bakemonogatari. My books are falling. Of the Bakemonogatari manga. This is volume 1. It's based on Monogatari, and it's illustrated by O Great or Ogure Ito. Second volume, third volume. Fourth volume, fifth volume. I think it's like 20 volumes in total or something. It's really long. And sixth volume. I have only read up to volume 4 because I'm not the biggest fan of the manga. It has really cool art and I want to finish reading it one day, but yeah, I just find the anime and the novels more enjoyable. Next up, more Bakemonogatari manga. I just have it in different editions in languages. This is the Mexican edition of the Bakemonogatari manga in Spanish, and this is the French edition of the Bakemonogatari manga by Pika Edition. So yeah, I have it in Japanese, Spanish, and French. Next up, this one is really interesting. This is Triple Pre Sukeakuro. This is the second volume of Nishio Isin's JDC Tribute series. I have not read these ones, but I'm really excited because it's like they are based on Seiryon Rusui's JDC series. This is the second volume, Triple Play Sukeakuro. And the first volume is this one, Double Down Kanguro. Double Down Kanguro. It looks so cool. The cover art of the second volume is really cool. I will read these ones after I finish reading Seiryon Rusui's Carnival. And this is the first volume of the English edition of Pretty Boy Detective Club, The Dark Star That Shines for You Alone. Yeah, it's an Nishio series. I think they only released 3 volumes of that, same as Regoto in English. yeah, I'm gonna move on to the next thing. Next up, this is another holic. What was the full name? Because it has a full title in Japanese, which wasn't in the English edition. Another holic. What does it say? Randoro Q aerosol. Landlord ring aerosol. Yeah, this is novel based on the series Holic by Clamp, and it's really cool. I love this novel. It's really amazing. This is the English edition, which completely dropped the subtitle. This was released by Del Rey, which was a really cool publisher. So yeah, that's the Japanese and English editions. This one is Nishio Isin's Death Note novel, which is Death Note, Another Note, Los Angeles BB Murder Cases. One of the best mysteries Nishio Isin has ever written. Like, I think this is like, yeah, one of the top 3 mysteries he's ever written. I would say Kubishima Romanticist is the best mystery he's written. After that, I don't know, it could be this or Sekai 1 or Psychological. I don't know, it's one of the best mysteries he's written. Next up is the Nishio Isin journal novel, which is called Over Heaven. It's a really boring book. I did not like it. This is the special edition of the Kisumonogatari novel. It's just a novel, but it's hardcover, and the cover is based on the movies. It's a really nice edition. Next up, Nishio Isin's Nanmin Tantei, or Refugee Detective. It's a mystery novel, which is really boring. Next up, the hardcovers of Sekai. This is Sekai 1 or Broken World. These hardcover editions don't have any of the illustrations the other editions have. But, I don't know, they make up for it for being really pretty. This is Volume 2, or Eerie and Earless Enclosed World. This is one of the worst things Nishio Isin has ever written. I think it's damaged here. This is Delivery Room by Nishio Isin. It's horrible. It's a really bad book. I would not recommend it to anyone. It's tremendously bad. This is the English edition of Unitaisen, the Zodiac War. There are people who like it. I don't like it much. And next up, people will be more familiar with these books. This is the English edition of Kisumonogatari, of Bakemonogatari, Bakemonogatari 2, Bakemonogatari 3, Nisemonogatari 1, Nisemonogatari 2, Nekomonogatari Black, Nekomonogatari White, Kabuki Monogatari, Hana Monogatari, Otori Monogatari, Oni Monogatari, Tsuki Monogatari, was it? Yeah. Koi Monogatari, Koyomi Monogatari 1, Koyomi Monogatari 2, Owari Monogatari 1, Owari Monogatari 2, Owari Monogatari 3, and Owari Monogatari, no, this is Soku Owari Monogatari. And yeah, that's all that has been translated to English of the Monogatari series, which is Season 1, Season 2, and final season. Next up, the hardcovers of Katanagatari. And this is Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, and Volume 4. The only volume I have yet to read of this series is Volume 4. But yeah, I quite like it. Next up, I'm probably gonna move with this. Next up, these two are short story collections by Mayo Otaro. Each book has, I think, 50 short stories of horror. This one, they're backwards. This is the first volume. This is Shinya Hyakutaro Iriguchi, or Midnight Hyakutaro Entrance and Midnight Hyakutaro Exit. These two are really cool. Then this is the English what was the name? Deluxe edition of Berserk. This is the first volume. Really cool editions. I would love to have more volumes, but it's really expensive. Each volume is like $50. This is Rohan at the Louvre by Hirohiko Araki, a full color manga, which I think was in exposition at the Louvre. It's really cool. First two volumes. This is the Mexican edition of the Master Edition of Blame. I love Blame. I would love to have all the volumes, but they're expensive. Next up, the box of the special edition of Tsukihime, a Piece of Blue Glass Moon. What was? Yeah, Piece of Blue Glass Moon for Nintendo Switch. That's the Japanese edition. And yeah, I'm gonna start with this one. This is by Otsuichi. This is Norainu Iggy, Stray Dog Iggy, which is a novel Otsuichi wrote based on Iggy. Goth by Otsuichi, which I have yet to read, but I will read soon because I've heard it's really good. This one is by Tomihiko Morimi. This is Serenaru Nakemono no Boken, The Adventures of a Holy Slacker. I have not read it, but it looks really cool. This one is another JoJo book by Otsuichi, the book. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure 4th, Another Day. It's one of the best JoJo books. Like after George Joestar, this is the one I would recommend the most. This one is the JoJo novel by Kadono Kohei, or Kohei Kadono. It's Hajishirase no Purple Haze, or Purple Haze Feedback. Now up here I have A Gun and Chocolate Case by Otsuichi. It doesn't have the book in the box because I'm reading it right now and it's not in this room. This is by Morimi Tomihiko. This is a new interpretation of Hashire Merusu, or Ron Melos, and another 4 stories. I also have not read this. And this is the second volume of the Tatami Galaxy, which is JoJo Time Machine Blues, or Tatami Time Machine Blues. I have read this one, it's really cool. These ones are the Japanese editions of the literary magazine Faust, which was all edited by Katsushi Ota and had a lot of really cool authors participating: Mayo Otaro, Nishio Isin, Tsuichi, Seiron Rusui, Sato Yuya, etc., etc. This is volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 3, volume 4, 5, 6A, 6B, and 7th volume. It's massive. I'm just missing one volume, volume 8, which is, I think it's also quite massive. Next up, these ones are by Nasuki Noko. This is Kara no Kyokai, The Garden of Sinners. This is the hardcover edition of the novel, volume 1 and volume 2. I really like Kara no Kyoka, but like the ending and the last few chapters are really not my cup of tea. You could say I got filtered. This is Penguin Highway by Morimi Tomihiko. The Night is Short, Walk On Girl by Morimi Tomihiko. Yoru wa mijikashi aruke yo otome. The Night is Short, Walk On Girl by Morimi Tomihiko. This is the Japanese edition of this book. And these are the two English omnibuses of the Boogie Pop novels. This is volume 1 to 3 and volume 4 to 6. There's more volumes of this series, but I don't think which 7 Seas has translated the other volumes. Yeah, that was this. Now, only thing is left this one, and the one at the top. Almost there. 3 rows left. I'm gonna start up here. This is Mano Kakera by Ito Junji. It's Fragments of Horror. It's a really cool manga anthology short story collection by Junji Ito. It's really good. It has an English translation. I think everything I have of Junji Ito is, well, in English, and the two volumes in Japanese that I have are translated, or well, have translations. This is volume 1 of The Rising of the Shield Hero by Aneko Yusagi. Volume 2. I used to really like this series. It's not that good. Volume 4. Volume 3. Up here I have this one by Junji Ito. This is Remina, the Jigokuse, the Infernal Planet. I have not read it, but I will read it. This one is Near Automata, long story short, in English. Slam Dunk, volume 1 of the manga. This is the Mexican edition. And this is volume 1 of Gringar of Fantasy and Ash by Aojumonji. I really like this first volume. I don't think I will continue the series though. Continuing with this. This is the hardcover English edition of Uzumaki by Junji Ito. The anime was really disappointing. This is Gyo by Junji Ito, also the hardcover edition. And these are the hardcovers of JoJo Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I have only 3 volumes of Part 3. This is All You Need Is Kill by the authors of Death Note, Takeshi Obata. It was based on a novel by Hiroshi Sakurasaka, and it got a Hollywood live-action adaptation called The Edge of Tomorrow, which stars Tom Cruise for some reason. It's a really cool manga. This is the Beast Signature edition of Ruby. And these are the Mexican editions of the Legend of Zelda manga. This is Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Four Swords, The Minish Cap, and Phantom Hourglass, and Oracle of Ages and Seasons. These are the Mexican edition of Monster. I have volume 1, 3, 4, and 5. The novels of Overlord in English, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 1 of the Saga of Tiny Devil, and volume 1 of Goblin Slayer. This is a Persona 5 art book, The Aesthetics. The bottommost one, I think all of these, with the exception of a few volumes over here and over here, are Mexican editions of manga. This is Fire Force by Atsushi Okubo, the same author of Soul Eater, and these are volumes 1 through 5. This is volume 1 and 2 of Little Witch Academia. I'm missing volume 3. It's a 3-volume manga adaptation. The manga adaptation of Kill la Kill, which is 3 volumes. I have all of them. Volume 1 of The Promised Neverland. I used to really like this series, but I feel like the story fell off after a few arcs. The start is really good though. And volume 1 of the Kingdom Hearts manga. Over here I have this volume 1, 2, and 3 of Golden Kamuy. I love this series. Volume 1 through 4 of Gojikanme no Senso by Jun, which the title in Spanish and English I suppose is Home Sweet Home. This author did Wolf Children, I think, but sadly I think it was she. Well, they passed away not long after this manga. Sadly, the art is really nice, and I quite like this series. This is volume 1 of the Fate Stay Night adaptation. Over here, I want to get rid of these volumes. Is Platinum End by the authors of Death Note, Tsukimi Oba and Takeshi Obata. It's a horrible, horrible series. It's so bad. I hate it so much, but I got 5 volumes because the covers look pretty, and yeah, I don't like it at all. Over here I have volumes 1 through 4 of Made in Abyss, the Mexican edition, of course. I really like Made in Abyss. If only the author wasn't a pedophile. This is volume 1 of the... Is this Kaseman? Like, it's like a special edition of Baki the Grappler by Keisuke Itagaki. It has color pages and the print quality is insane. Really cool edition. Volume 1 of the Japanese edition of Dorohedoro. I love Dorohedoro, it's so good. One of my favorite manga. This is the all-in-one omnibus edition of Dororo by Osamu Tezuka, published by Vertical, I think. Yeah, it was published by Vertical. This is the Mexican edition of Inuyasha by Rumiko what was her name? Takahashi. These are 2-in-1 editions, so 7 volumes equal to 14 volumes of the original Tankoban. I really like Inuyasha. I would have loved to get the entire series, but in total it's like 60 volumes and 60 volumes, and in this edition it would be 30 volumes, and each volume is quite expensive. Anyhow, this is the Mexican edition of Cardcaptor Sakura. I love Cardcaptor Sakura. I should get more volumes. This edition is really expensive though, so I will most probably get it in Japanese. The interesting thing about this editorial is that they do not translate the cover of their editions. It's really weird. So like, it's Japanese in there, but the insides are in Spanish and the OV's also Spanish. It's a really weird editorial, but they publish, like, their paper quality is really good though. This is I love this series. I don't have it complete. I think it's like, I have no idea how many volumes of Blade of the Immortal by Hiroaki Samura. I love Samura so much. His art is really good, and he has done some other very cool series. These are the omnibuses editions, or Kasenban, or Wideband. I don't know which editions they are, but they are really cool. Super cool art. Volume 6 and Volume 7. Volume 1 of the Japanese edition of Dead Demons Destruction by Inio Asano. Volume 1 of Berserk in French. This is a book I bought in Mexico, which is Hinoyama, which is like about volcanoes, but it was really funny because I found it at a market here in Mexico, so I got it because it was like, what, Japanese in Mexico? This is One Piece Doors. This is the French edition. It's like a compilation of all the first pages of each chapter and whatnot. Japanese Volume 1 of Chainsaw Man. Ooh, I cannot show this one. This is Volume 1 of Dragon Ball, the Mexican edition, but it's signed by the author of, by the voice actor of Goku. This is the entire collection of Silent Boys, Koe no Katachi, by Yoshitoki Oima in the Spanish-Mexican edition, Volume 1 through 7. It's a really nice series. I like the manga way more than the movie, and the movie is really good already. So yeah, that's the first 4 volumes of Fire Punch by Tatsuki Fujimoto, the same author as Chainsaw Man. Fire Punch is really good. Yep. The series is 8 volumes, so I just have half of the series. And these are the first 2 volumes of the Red Zero manga. Oh my god, I am so tired. Anyhow, this is the last of the last. Let's go. I'm gonna start with this one. This is volume 6 of Kino no Tabi, Kino's Journey by Seisawa Keiichi. This is the volume I'm currently reading. This is volume 1. I'm gonna just take them like this. I have 21 volumes of Kino's Journey. 21 volumes. This is volume 21, and yeah, 21 volumes. I'm not gonna show all the covers because it's gonna make this long video even longer. This is such a mess. Alright, next up it's Seirun Rusui's Top Run and Land series. Let's take this one too. Top Run and Land series by Sirin Rusi, Volume 1, Volume 2, 3, 4, 5. This series looks really cool. The illustrations are amazing. Last volume, and I think it has a few extra volumes. One of the covers is quite honest, not safe for work. I think it's this one. Yeah, that's the one. This one is Top Run 2001, and this one is Top Run Final, I guess, but it's not safe for work. This one is a book called Mystery no Kakikata, How to Write Mystery. And up here, this is all of volume 16 of part 8 of JoJo. I got this one in Japan because it's the favorite manga part of JoJo of my little brother. So he told me, bring back a volume when you're in Japan. And I did, and this one is all the bunkos of Stillborn Run. I'm gonna put them in their box because I got this box set, so I'm just gonna carry them that way. This is how the box looks. It's a really cool box. After that, I have this one is a CD. This is the soundtrack of a video game called The World of Horror. This is the bunko of the Tatami Galaxy, Jojo Hanshin wa Taikei by Morimi Tomihiko. This is manga. This is volume 1 of the bunko of Hajime no Ippo by Yoji Morikawa. The manga, it's not an adaptation, but it's based on Cosmic by Seren Rusui and Hasui Tomi. I forgot the name of the mangaka, I'm sorry. Cosmic Comics and Extra Joker. Toi Hasumi, I think was the name. And yeah, whatever I have left is just video games. I'm just gonna also talk about those over here. This is the Japanese edition of World of Horror, Japanese edition of Fatal Frame, I don't know how it's translated, what the translation is, the Lunar Mask, Japanese edition of Tears of the Kingdom, Japanese edition of Xenoblade, Japanese edition of Bayonetta, this is American edition of Metal Gear Solid Master Collection, Volume 1, Higurashi, Tsukihime, Monster Hunter, and Nier Automata. And with that, I am completely done. I still have to pack all of these, but yeah, those are all the Japanese books that I own. I don't think anyone is gonna finish watching this entire video because it's very long and very low energy, and I'm really tired, and you can hear that in my voice for the last 40 minutes of this video. So yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe, give it a like, and don't forget to donate to my coffee. It's in the description. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.